Hi, I'm back. Uh, I'll be reading some more from this Bible. Okay, here we go. Heroes and villains. Genesis chapter 4, verses 1 to 24. Cain and Abel. He's really gonna get it now, you whisper, as you sneak up behind your little brother. Despite your mother's warning not to bring water balloons into the house, you squash the swollen balloon on his head before he has a chance to move. Your mother comes into the room and grounds you for 3 days. It's all your fault, you scream at your little brother. You think you are so much better than anyone else. What does your brother or sister do that makes you mad? Tease you, take your clothes without asking, get into your stamp collection? Sometimes having a brother or sister can be really annoying. Many a kid has thought, I wish I could get rid of that brother, sister of mine. Cain felt that way too. Cain and Abel were brothers, and they were very different. Abel did what was right and Cain did not. When Cain realized that God accepted Abel's sacrifices but rejected his, he got very angry. It wasn't Abel's fault. Abel had only done what was good and right, but Cain got mad anyway because he did not get the same kind of praise and acceptance that Abel did. Let's face it, if you have got a brother or sister, sometimes you are gonna fight, but don't be like Cain. Instead, say how you feel and try to talk it out. If you can't, ask your mother or father to help you solve the problem. Whatever you do, get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of malicious behavior. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 31. Genesis chapter 7. The flood covers the earth. Finally, the day came when the Lord said to Noah, Go into the boat with all your family, for among all the people of the earth, I consider you alone to be righteous. Take along 7 pairs of each animal that I have approved for eating and for sacrifice, and take 1 pair of each of the others. Then select 7 pairs of every kind of bird. There must be a male and a female in each pair to ensure that every kind of living creature will survive the flood. 1 week from today I will begin 40 days and 40 nights of rain, and I will wipe from the earth all the living things I have created. So Noah did exactly as the Lord had commanded him. He was 600 years old when the flood came, and he went aboard the boat to escape. He and his wife and his sons and their wives. With them were all the various kinds of animals, those approved for eating and sacrifices, and those that were not, along with all the birds and other small animals. They came into the boat in pairs, male and female, just as God had commanded Noah. 1 week later, the flood came and covered the earth. When Noah was 600 years old, On the 17th day of the second month, the underground waters burst forth on the earth, and the rain fell in mighty torrents from the sky. The rain continued to fall for 40 days and 40 nights. But Noah had gone into the boat that very day with his wife and his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. With them in the boat were pairs of every kind of breathing animal, domesticated and wild, large and small, along with birds and flying insects of every kind. 2 by 2 they came into the boat, male and female, just as God had commanded. Then the Lord shut them in. For 40 days the floods prevailed, covering the ground and lifting the boat high above the earth. As the waters rose higher and higher above the ground, the boat floated safely on the surface. Finally, the water covered even the highest mountains on the earth, standing more than 22 feet above the highest peaks. All the living things on earth died: birds, domesticated animals, wild animals, all kinds of small animals, and all the people. Everything died that breathed and lived on dry land. Everything living on the earth was wiped out: people, animals, both large and small, and birds. They were all destroyed, and only Noah was left alive, along with those who were with him in the boat. And the water covered the earth for 150 days. Genesis chapter 8. The flood recedes. But God remembered Noah and all the animals in the boat. He sent a wind to blow across the waters, and the floods began to disappear. The underground water sources ceased. The gushing and the torrential rain stopped. So the flood gradually began to recede. After 150 days, exactly 5 months from the time the flood began, the boat came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. 2.5 months later, as the waters continued to go down, other mountain peaks began to appear. After another 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the boat and released a raven that flew back and forth until the earth was dry. Then he sent out a dove to see if it could find dry ground. But the dove found no place to land, because the water was still too high, so it returned to the boat. And Noah held out his hand and drew the dove back inside. 7 days later, Noah released the dove again. This time, toward evening, the bird returned to him with a fresh olive leaf in its beak. Noah now knew that the water was almost gone. A week later, he released the dove again, and this time it did not come back. Finally, when Noah was 601 years old, 10.5 months after the flood began, Noah lifted back the cover to look. The water was drying up. 2 more months went by, and at last the earth was dry. Then God said to Noah, "Leave the boat, all of you. Release all the animals and birds, so they can breed. breed and reproduce in great numbers. So Noah, his wife, and his sons, and their wives left the boat, and all the various kinds of animals and birds came out, pair by pair. Pair by pair. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and sacrificed on it the animals and birds that had been approved for that purpose. And the Lord was pleased with the sacrifice, and said to himself, I will never again curse the earth, destroying all living things, even though people's thoughts and actions are bent toward evil from childhood. As long as the earth remains, there will be springtime and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, day and night. Genesis chapter 9, God's covenant with Noah. God blessed Noah and his sons and told them, multiply and fill the earth. All the wild animals, large and small, and all the birds and fish will be afraid of you. I have placed them in your power. I have given them to you for food, just as I have given you grain and vegetables. But you must never eat animals that still have their lifeblood in them, and murder is forbidden. Animals that kill people must die, and any person who murders must be killed. Yes, you must execute anyone who murders another person, for to kill a person is to kill a living being made in God's image. Now you must have many children and repopulate the earth. Yes, multiply and fill the earth. Then God told Noah and his sons, I am making a covenant with you and your descendants, and with the animals you brought with you, all these birds and livestock and wild animals. I solemnly promise never to send another flood to kill all living creatures and destroy the earth. And God said, I am giving you a sign as evidence of my eternal covenant with you and all living creatures. I have placed my rainbow in the clouds. It is the sign of my permanent promise to you and to all the earth. When I send clouds over the earth, the rainbow will be seen in the clouds, and I will remember my covenant with you and with everything that lives. Never again will there be a flood that will destroy all life. When I see the rainbow in the clouds, I will remember the eternal covenant between God and every living creature on earth. Then God said to Noah, yes, this is the sign of my covenant with all the creatures of the earth. Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The three sons of Noah survived the flood with their father. Ham is the ancestor of the Canaanites. From these three sons of Noah came all the people now scattered across the earth. After the flood, Noah became a farmer and planted a vineyard. One day he became drunk on some wine he had made and lay naked in his tent. Ham, the father Canaan saw that his father was naked and went outside and told his brothers. Shem and Japheth took a rope, held it over their shoulders, walked backward into the tent, and covered the father's naked body. As they did this, they looked the other way so they wouldn't see him naked. When Noah woke up from his drunken stupor, he learned what Ham, his youngest son, had done. Then he cursed the descendants of Canaan, the son of Ham. A curse on the Canaanites. May they be the lowest of servants to the descendants of Shem and Japheth. Then Noah said, May Shem be blessed by the Lord my God, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge the territory of Japheth, and may he share the prosperity of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. Noah lived another 350 years after the flood. He was 950 years old when he died. Genesis chapter 10. This is the history of the families of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the three sons of Noah. Many children were born to them after the flood. Descendants of Japheth. The descendants of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tiras. The descendants of Gomer were Ash, Kenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The descendants of Javan were Elishah, Tarshishah, Kittim, and Rodanim. Their descendants became the seafaring people in various lands, each tribe with its own language. Descendants of Ham. The descendants of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The descendants of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabtah, Raamah, and Sabteca. The descendants of Raamah were Sheba and Dedan. One of Cush's descendants was Nimrod, who became a heroic warrior. He was a mighty hunter in the Lord's sight. His name became proverbial, and people would speak as someone as being like Nimrod, a mighty hunter in the Lord's sight. He built the foundations for his empire in the land of Babylonian, with the cities of Babel, Erechakkad, and Calneh. From there he extended his reign to Assyria, where he built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Ir, Calah, and Resen. the main city of the empire, located between Nineveh and Calah. Mizraim was the ancestor of the Ludites, Anamites, Lehabites, Naphthuhites, Pathrus, Casl, Uhites, and the Caphtorites, from whom the Philistines came. The Philistines came. Canaan's oldest son was Sidon, the ancestor of the Sidonians. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Arkites, Sinites, Arvadites, Zemarites, and Hamaths. Eventually, the territory of Canaan spread from Sidon to Gerar near Gaza and to Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim near Lasha. These were the descendants of Ham, identified according to their tribe, languages, territories, and nations. Descendants of Shem. Sons were also born to Shem, the older brother of Japheth. Shem was the ancestor of all. The descendants of Eber. The descendants of Shem were Elam, Asshur, Ar, Phaxad, Lud, and Aram. The descendants of Aram were Uzi, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arphaxad was the father of Shelah, and Shelah was the father of Eber. Eber had two sons. The first was named Peleg, division, for during his lifetime the people of the world were divided into different language groups and dispersed. His brother's name was Joktan. Joktan was the ancestor of Almodad, Sheleph, Hazar, Maveth, Jerah, Hadoram, Uziel, Diklah, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havil, and Job. The descendants of Joktan lived in the area extending from Mesha toward the the eastern hills of Sephar. These were the descendants of Shem, identified according to their tribes, languages, territories, and nations. These are the families that came from Noah's sons, listed nation by nation according to their lines of descent. The earth was populated with the people of these nations after the flood. Genesis chapter 11. The Tower of Babel. At one time the whole world spoke a single language and used the same words. As the people migrated eastward, they found a plain in the land of Babylonian and settled there. They began to talk about construction projects. Come, they said, let's make great piles of barn brick and collect natural salt to use as mortar. Let's build a great city with a tower that reaches to the sky, a monument to our greatness. This will bring us together and keep us from scattering all over the world. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. Look, he said, if they can accomplish this when they have just begun to take advantage of the common language and political unity, just think of what they will do later. Nothing will be impossible for them. Come, let's go down and give them different languages. Then they won't be able to understand each other. In that way the Lord scattered them all over the earth, and that ended the building of the city. That is why the city was called Babel, because it was there that the Lord confused the people by giving them many languages, thus scattering them across the earth. From Shem to Abraham. This is the history of Shem's family. When Shem was 100 years old, his son Arphaxad was born. This happened 2 years after the flood. After the birth of Arphaxad, Shem lived another 500 years and had other sons and daughters. When Arphaxad was 35 years old, his son Shelah was born. After the birth of Shelah, Arphaxad lived another 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Shelah was 30 years old, his son Eber was born. After the birth of Eber, Shelah lived another 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Eber was 34 years old, his son Peleg was born. After the birth of Peleg, Eber lived another 430 years and had other sons and daughters. When Peleg was 30 years old, his son Reu was born. After the birth of Reu, Peleg lived another 209 years and had other sons and daughters. When Reu was 32 years old, his son Serug was born. After the birth of Serug, Reu lived another 207 years and had other sons and daughters. When Serug was 30 years old, his son Nahor was born. After the birth of Nahor, Serug lived another 200 years and had other sons and daughters. When Nahor was 29 years old, his son Terah was born. After the birth of Terah, Nahor lived another 119 years and had other sons and daughters. When Terah was 70 years old, he became the father of Abiram, Nahor, and Haran. The family of Terah. This is the history of Terah, Potiphar's family. Terah was the father of Abiram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran had a son named Lot. But while Haran was still young, he died in Ur of the Chaldeans, the place of his birth. He was survived by Terah, his father. Meanwhile, Abiram married Sarai, and his brother Nahor married Milcah, the daughter of their brother Haran. Milcah had a sister named Ischah. Now Sarai was not able to have any children. Life then, life now. Skyscrapers. The Tower of Babel was probably the world's first skyscraper. Though we don't know exactly, it may have been almost 300 feet tall. The world's tallest building today rises much higher than that, almost 1,500 feet into the air, or 1/3 of a mile. Skyscrapers today are made of steel and reinforced concrete. The Tower of Babel was made from mud, bricks, and straw, even though it wasn't very tall compared to skyscrapers today. The Tower of Babel was a marvel of construction. Terah took his son Abiram, his daughter-in-law Sarai, and his grandson Lot, his son Haran, Potiphar's child, and left Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan, but they stopped instead at the village of Haran and settled there. Terah, lived for 205 years and died while still at Haran. Abraham purposed his journey from Ur to Canaan. Abraham grew up in Ur the Chaldeans. It was a beautiful city with everything Abraham and his family could want. But God wanted Abraham to move to Canaan, 1,000 miles away. Abraham would have to leave his relatives, his hometown, his country, and many of his things. Abraham went where God told him to go. God can do wonderful things through us when we go where He says. This map shows how Abraham made the long trip from Ur to Canaan. Nile, Egypt, Nile River, Red Sea, Dead Sea, land of Canaan, Sea of Galilee, island of Cyprus, Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea. Haran, Euphrates River, Babylonian Babel. Ur of the Chaldeans, Arabian Desert, Persian Gulf, Tigris River, Caspian Sea. Chapter 12, sticky situations, making a good impression. While on a camping trip with your family, you make friends with a group of kids at the campsite. Everyone is talking about their families and what their parents do for a living. You want to impress them, but you don't think your family is very impressive. Do you make up a story figuring that you will never see these kids again anyway? Do you remain silent and let them form their own opinions of you, or do you tell the truth and not worry about what they think? Genesis chapter 12 verses 10 to 20 tells about a situation Abraham faced where he thought he had to make up a story to be treated well. Check out what Abraham did and what happened. Chapter 12, the call of Abraham. Then the Lord told Abraham, leave your country, your relatives, and your father's house, and go to the land that I will show you. I will cause you to become the father of a great nation. I will bless you and make you famous, and I will make you a blessing to others. I will bless those who bless you, and curse those who curse you. All the families of the earth will be blessed through you. So Abraham departed as the Lord had instructed him, and Lot went with him. Abraham was 75 years old when he left. Haran. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all his wealth, his livestock, and all the people who had joined his household at Haran, and finally arrived in Canaan. Traveling through Canaan, they came to a place near Shechem, and set up camp beside the oak at Moreh. At that time, the area was inhabited by Canaanites. Then the Lord appeared to Abraham and said, I am going to give this land to your offspring. And Abraham built an altar there to commemorate the Lord's visit. After that, Abraham traveled southward and set up camp in the hill country between Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. There we built an altar and worshiped the Lord. Then Abraham traveled south by stages toward the Negev. Abraham and Sarai in Egypt. At that time there was a severe famine in the land, so Abraham went down to Egypt to wait it out. As he was approaching the borders of Egypt, Abraham said to Sarai, "You are a very beautiful woman. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife. Let's kill him. Then we can have her. But if you say you are my sister, then the Egyptians would treat me well because of their interest in you, and they will spare my life. And so enough, when they arrived in Egypt, everyone spoke of her beauty. When the palace officials saw her, they sang her praises to the king, the Pharaoh, and she was taken into his harem. Then Pharaoh gave Abraham many gifts because of her sheep, cattle, donkeys, male and female servants, and camels. But the Lord sent a terrible plague upon Pharaoh's household because of Sarai, Abraham, Potiphar's wife. So Pharaoh called for Abraham and accused him sharply. "What is this you have done to me?" he demanded. Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Why were you willing to let me marry her, saying she was your sister? Here is your wife. Take her and be gone. Pharaoh then sent them out of the country under escort. Abraham and his wife with all their household and belongings. Genesis chapter 13 verses 1 to 18. How to settle arguments. Do the right thing. Brothers and sisters usually fight. Some even argue with their parents. Neighborhood children get into arguments about almost any game they play. Even the best of friends sometimes disagree with each other. Is it possible to stop all the fighting? Abraham had many arguments to settle. In fact, Once the arguments got so bad that he and his family and workers had to separate from his nephew Lot and Lot's family and workers. Abraham's men were fighting with Lot's men over land for grazing cattle and sheep. There were just too many animals for the land to support all of them. Abraham decided to talk to Lot about the problem, and they worked out a solution. Here's what you can learn from Abraham. Step 1. Be first. Facing a serious conflict with his nephew, Abraham took the lead to stop the fighting. He didn't wait around for the situation to get a lot worse. Others may be the first to start a fight, but you can be the first to open the way for a solution. Step 2. Be last. Abraham let Lot go first in choosing the land he wanted. Lot, of course, took the best for himself. Often the other person will do that, but not always. Sometimes you will be able to find a way to share or divide equally. But even if it means not getting what you want, be willing to choose last. Step 3. Be at peace. Family peace was more important to Abraham than his own personal desires. His example shows us how to respond to difficult family situations. You can be a peacemaker in your family instead of a troublemaker. Chapter 13. Abraham and Lot separate. As they left Egypt and traveled north into the Negev, Abraham with his wife and Lot and all that they owned. For Abraham was very rich in livestock, silver, and gold. Then they continued traveling by stages toward Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai where they had camped before. This was the place where Abraham had built the altar, and there he again worshipped the Lord. Now Lot, who was traveling with Abraham, was also very wealthy with sheep, cattle, and many tents. But the land could not support both Abraham and Lot with all their flocks and herds living so close together. There were too many animals for the available pasture land. So an argument broke out between the herdsmen of Abraham and Lot. At that time, Canaanites and Perizzites were also living in the land. Then Abraham talked it over with Lot. This arguing between our herdsmen has got to stop, he said. After all, we are close relatives. I will tell you what we will do. Take your choice of any section of the land you want, and we will and we will separate. If you want that area over there, then I will stay here. If you want to stay in this area, then I will move on to another place. Lot took a long look at the fertile plains of the Jordan Valley in the direction of Zoar. The whole area was well watered everywhere, like the garden of the Lord, or the beautiful land of Egypt. This was before the Lord had destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot chose that land for himself, the Jordan Valley, to the east of them. He went there with his flocks and servants, and parted company with his uncle Abraham. So while Abraham stayed in the land of Canaan, Lot moved his tents to a place near Sodom, among the cities of the plain. The people of this area were unusually wicked and sinned greatly against the Lord. After Lot was gone, the Lord said to Abraham, "Look as far as you can see in every direction. I am going to give all this land to you and your offspring as a permanent possession, and I am going to give you so many descendants that, like dust, they cannot be counted. Take a walk in every direction and explore the new possessions I am giving you. Then Abraham moved his camp to the oak grove owned by Mamre, which is at Hebron. There we built an altar to the Lord. Chapter 14. Abraham rescues Lot. About this time, war broke out in the region. King Amraphel, a Babylonian, King Arioch of Ellasar, King Kedorlaomer of Elam, and King Tidal of Goiim fought against King Bera of Sodom, King Birsha of Gomorrah, King Shinab of Admah, King Shemeber of Zeboiim, and the king of Bela, now called Zoar. The kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboiim, and Bela formed an alliance and mobilized their armies in Siddim Valley, that is the valley of the Dead Sea. For 12 years they had all been subject to King Kedorlaomer, but now in the 13th year they rebelled. 1 year later, Kedorlaomer, and his allies arrived. They conquered the Phaites and Ashteroth, Karnaim, the Zuzites in Ham, the Emites in the plain of Kiriathim, and the Horites in Mount Seir, as far as Paran, at the edge of the wilderness. Then they swung around to Enmishpat, now called Kadesh, and destroyed the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, living in Hazazontamar. But now the army of the kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and Bela, now called Zoar, prepared for battle in the valley of the Dead Sea, against King Kedorlaomer of Elam, and the kings of Joaim, Babylonian, and Elasar, 4 kings against 5. As it happened, the valley was filled with tar pits, and as the army of the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some slipped into the tar pits, while the rest escaped into the mountains. The victorious invaders then plundered Sodom and Gomorrah and began their long journey home, taking all the wealth and food with them. They also captured Lot, Abiram, Potiphar's nephew, who lived in Sodom, and took everything he owned. One of the men who escaped came and told Abiram, the Hebrew, who was camped at the oak grove belonging to Amori, the Amorite, Amori, and his relatives Eshcol and Aner were Abiram, Potiphar's allies. When Abiram learned that Lot had been captured, he called together the men born into his household, 318 of them in all. He chased after Kedorlaomer, Potiphar's army, until he caught up with them in Dan. There he divided his men and attacked during the night from several directions. Kedorlaomer, Potiphar's army fled, but Abiram chased them to Hobah, north of Damascus. Abiram and his allies recovered everything. the goods that have been taken. Abraham purposed his nephew Lot with his possessions and all the women and other captives. Melchizedek blesses Abraham as Abraham returned from his victory over Kedor Laomer and his allies. The king of Sodom came out to meet him in the valley of Shaveh, that is the king's valley. Then Melchizedek, the king of Salem and a priest of God Most High, brought him bread and wine. Melchizedek blessed Abraham with this blessing. Blessed be Abraham by God Most High, Creator of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has helped you conquer your enemies. Then Abraham gave Melchizedek a tenth of all the goods he had recovered. The king of Sodom told him, "Give back my people who were captured, but you may keep for yourself all the goods you have recovered." Abraham replied, "I have solemnly promised the Lord God Most High, Creator of heaven and earth, that I will not take so much as a single thread or sandal thong from you. Otherwise you might say I am the one who made Abraham rich. All I will accept is what these young men of mine have already eaten, but give a share of the goods to my allies, Aner, Eschol, and Mamre. Genesis chapter 15. The Lord's covenant with Abraham. Afterward the Lord spoke to Abraham in a vision and said to him, Do not be afraid, Abraham, for I will protect you, and your reward will be great. But Abraham replied, O sovereign Lord, what good are all your blessings when I don't even have a son? Since I don't have a son, Eliezer Adamicus, a servant in my household, will inherit all my wealth. You have given me no children, so one of my servants will have to be my heir. Then the Lord said to him, No, your servant will not be your heir, for you will have a son of your own to inherit everything I am giving you. Then the Lord brought Abraham outside beneath the night sky and told him, Look up into the heavens and count the stars if you can. Your descendants will be like that, too many to count. And Abraham believed the Lord, and the Lord declared him righteous because of his faith. Then the Lord told him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land. But Abraham replied, O sovereign Lord, How can I be sure that you will give it to me? To me. Then the Lord told him, bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Abraham took all these and killed them. He cut each one down the middle and laid the halves side by side. He did not, however, divide the birds in half. Some vultures came down to eat the carcasses, but Abraham chased them away. That evening, as the sun was going down, Abraham fell into a deep sleep. He saw a terrifying vision of darkness and horror. Then the Lord told Abraham, you can be sure that your descendants will be strangers in a foreign land, and they will be oppressed as slaves for 400 years, but I will punish the nation that enslaves them, and in the end they will come away with great wealth, but you will die in peace at a ripe old age. After 4 generations, your descendants will return here to this land when the sin of the Amorites has run its course. As the sun went down and it became dark, Abraham saw a smoking fire pot and a flaming torch pass between the halves of the carcasses. So the Lord made a covenant with Abraham that day and said, I have given this land to your descendants, all the way from the border of Egypt to the great Euphrates River, the land of the Kenites, Kenizzites, Kadmonites, Hittites, Perizzites, Repaites, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, and Jebusites. Genesis chapter 16. The birth of Ishmael. But Sarai, Abraham, Potiphar's wife, had no children. So Sarai took her servant, an Egyptian woman named Hagar, and gave her to Abraham, so she could bear his children. The Lord has kept me from having any children. Sarai said to Abraham, go and sleep with my servant. Perhaps I can have children through her. And Abraham agreed. So Sarai, Abraham, Potiphar's wife, took Hagar, the Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abraham as a wife. This happened 10 years after Abraham first arrived in the land of Canaan. So Abraham slept with Hagar, and she became pregnant. When Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to treat her mistress, Sarai, with contempt. Then Sarai said to Abraham, "It's all your fault. Now the servant of mine is pregnant, and she despises me, though I myself gave her the privilege of sleeping with you. The Lord will make you pay for doing this to me." Abraham replied, "Since she is your servant, you may deal with her as you see fit." So Sarai treated her harshly, and Hagar ran away. The angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a desert spring along the road to Shur. The angel said to her, "Hagar, Sarai, Potiphar's servant, where have you come from, and where are you going?" "I am running away from my mistress," she replied. Then the angel of the Lord said, "Return to your mistress and submit to her authority." The angel added, I will give you more descendants than you can count." And the angel also said, "You are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard about your misery. The son of yours will be a wild one, free and untamed as a wild donkey. He will be against everyone, and everyone will be against him. Yes, he will live at odds with the rest of his brothers." Thereafter Hagar referred to the Lord who had spoken to her as the God who sees me. For she said, "I have seen the one who sees me." Later, that well was named Beerlahairoi, and it can still be found between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar gave Abraham a son, and Abraham named him Ishmael. Abraham was 86 years old at that time. Genesis chapter 17. Abraham is named Abraham. When Abraham was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am God Almighty. Serve me faithfully and live a blameless life. I will make a covenant with you, by which I will guarantee to make you into a mighty nation." At this, Abraham fell face down in the dust. Then God said to him, "This is my covenant with you. I will make you the father of not just one nation, but a multitude of nations. What's more, I am changing your name. It will no longer be Abraham. Now you will be known as Abraham, for you will be the father of many nations. I will I will give give you millions of descendants who will represent many nations. Kings will be among them. I will continue this everlasting covenant between us generation after generation. It will continue between me and your offspring forever. And I will always be your God and the God of your descendants after you. Yes, I will give all this land of Canaan to you and to your offspring forever, and I will be their God. The sign of circumcision. Your part of the agreement God told Abraham is to obey the terms of the covenant. You and all your descendants have this continual responsibility. This is the covenant that you and your descendants must keep. Each male among you must be circumcised. The flesh of his foreskin must be cut off. This will be a sign that you and they have accepted this covenant. Every male child must be circumcised on the 8th day after his birth. This applies not only to members of your family, but also to the servants born in your household and the foreign-born servants whom you have purchased. All must be circumcised. Your bodies will thus bear the mark of my everlasting covenant. Anyone who refuses to be circumcised will be cut off from the covenant family for violating the covenant. Sarai is named Sarah. Then God added, regarding Sarai, your wife, her name will no longer be Sarai. From now on, you will call her Sarah, and I will bless her and give you a son from her. Yes, I will bless her richly, and she will become the mother of many nations. Kings will be among her descendants. Then Abraham bowed down to the ground, but he laughed to himself in disbelief. How could I become a father at the age of 100, he wondered. Besides, Sarah is 90. How could she have a baby? And Abraham said to God, yes, may Ishmael enjoy your special blessing. But God replied, Sarah, your wife will bear you a son. You will name him Isaac, and I will confirm my everlasting covenant with him and his descendants. As for Ishmael, I will bless him also, just as you have asked. I will cause him to multiply and become a great nation. 12 princes will be among his descendants. But my covenant is with Isaac, who will be born to you and Sarah about this time next year. That ended the conversation, and God left Abraham. On that very day, Abraham took his son Ishmael and every other male in his household and circumcised them, cutting off the foreskins exactly as God told him. Abraham was 99 years old at that time, and Ishmael his son was 13. Both were circumcised the same day, along with all the other men and boys of the household, whether they were born there or bought as servants. Chapter 18. A son promised to Sarah. The Lord appeared again to Abraham while he was camped near the oak grove belonging to Mamre. One day about noon, as Abraham was sitting at the entrance to his tent, he suddenly noticed 3 men standing nearby. He got up and went to meet them, welcoming them by bowing low to the ground. "My Lord," he said, "if it pleases you, stop here for a while. Rest in the shade of this tree while my servants get some water to wash your feet. Let me prepare some food to refresh you. Please stay a while before continuing on your journey." "All right," they said. "Do as you have said." So Abraham went back to the tent and said to Sarah, "Quick, get 3 measures of your best flour and bake some bread." Then Abraham went out to the herd and chose a fat calf and told a servant to hurry and butcher it. When the food was ready, he took some cheese, curds, and milk, and the roasted meat, and he served it to the men as they ate. Abraham waited on them there beneath the trees. "Where was Sarah, your wife?" they asked him. "In the tent," Abraham replied. Then one of them said, "About this time next year I will return, and your wife Sarah will have a son." Now Sarah was listening to this conversation from the tent nearby. And since Abraham and Sarah were both very old, and Sarah was long past the age of having children, she laughed silently to herself. "How could a worn-out woman like me have a baby?" she thought. And when my master, my husband, is also so old. Life then, life now. Tents. It's fun to go camping and sleep in a tent. But how would you like to live in a tent? Abraham and his family did in Bible times. Tents were made of goat and camel hair. The hair was woven together into a thick, heavy cloth. When this cloth got wet, the animal hair would shrink, making the tent nearly waterproof. These tents were quite big, too. Everything the family owned had to fit in it. When a group of shepherds camped together, they often set up their tents in a circle. The leader's tent would be pitched in the middle of the circle. He would stick his spear in the ground outside his door to show he was in charge. Then the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say, 'Can an old woman like me have a baby? Is anything too hard for the Lord?' About a year from now, just as I told you, I will return and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid, so she denied that she had laughed, but he said, "That is not true. You did laugh." Abraham intercedes for Sodom. Then the men got up from the meal and started on toward Sodom. Abraham went with them part of the way. "Should I hide my plan from Abraham?" the Lord asked. Okay, that's all for now. Start on chapter 18 again next time. Okay, that's all for now. Bye-bye.